Can we all just say thank you to Raito for that perfect transition? The music literally ended at just the right moment to head straight in. Also, let me know if the audio is okay. I think it might be a little bit loud. But let me know if it sounds okay to you. How are you all doing? Welcome to the stream. It's time to play some Undernight inbirth. But first, I'm drinking some coffee that I already made. As you can see, this tumbler has seen better days. Perhaps I should consider replacing it. I bought this for 5,000 yen, which at the current exchange rate is about 38 US dollars. And I've been using this thing for about, I don't know, like 9 years? 8 or 9. I've been using this a long... I literally just bought it off... I just saw it in Starbucks and I was like, oh, it's a really nice tumbler. And I only bought it because it was slim. It would be easy to put in my bag. I didn't really buy it because it says Starbucks on it. As you can see, there are a number of these that have actual like Starbucks designs all over them with swirly lines and mermaids. But I was just like, I just want this tumbler. It's white, but it's actually official Starbucks merch. I think it's made by made by Thermos, but it's actually Starbucks merch. Don't know why I'm telling you all that. How you all doing? Are you having a good weekend? Are you having a good weekend? I understand that Frosty Faustings is happening this weekend, in addition to the fact that Undernight inbirth has released now, officially, triumphant release of Undernight inbirth on PC, in addition to the console versions, but also Tekken 8 has also released, and Palworld. Palworld seems to be doing just fine. Though actually, I think Palworld is also suffering online because too many people are signing in. But tell me, how have you guys been? Have you had a good week? I'm suffering here at the moment trying to get the get the stream to work because Undernight PC, I haven't tried it yet. I've literally just bought it about 5 minutes before the stream began. To get myself to the... Oh man, I'm so glad that there's a gallery mode in this game so we can use the BGMs. I wonder how I win the actual theme songs. Should we listen to Relatively Despair? I've got no money! How do I win 1,000? What do I have to do to win 1,000 IP? I can't actually listen to the music. That's hilarious. Okay, fine. I wanted to play you some music, but I literally don't have any points. I don't know how to win points. Maybe this will work. Let's see how you're all doing. Hello, everyone. Just got off work. Like the music. Yeah, the music's fantastic. Raito God. Actually, is his full name. Sup, Aru? Same, I want to play, but I probably don't have time because I didn't download it yet. Ah, well, I think the download, it says you need 15 gigabytes, but the download itself is actually compressed. I think it's only like 3 or 4 gigabytes. Right now, I'm working at a restaurant. Oh, man, what was the name of that yonkoma? There's a manga called Working with an exclamation mark. Bloody amazing. Loved that. Loved that comment. Saw Justin try the trial earlier for Undernight 2. It definitely hurt his brain for sure. Really? Justin's amazing at combos. What character was he playing? Some of the combos are tricky, but it's not really because... It's not really that combos are difficult in this game. It's just you have to get used to the uni flavor, which is delay cancelling stuff. Because if you delay certain cancels, then the characters have like fallen a little bit further, so you can catch them with the rest of your moves. So yeah, the timing can be a little tricky in this game, but it's not. I wouldn't describe it as difficult. Anyone who's interested in getting into the game. I got Uni 2 yesterday and barely played. I'm going to get bodied so hard. Yes, that is what it's all about. Actually, Jushichi, big community name for this game. He was saying that he had noticed on the Diaphone stream people were talking about how it's difficult as a beginner to find other beginners to play, and that is how it is for a lot of fighting games. It's not really just Undernight inbirth. And if you are in that situation, I welcome you. I welcome you to show up anytime that we're streaming here. I'm sorry, I can't stream every single day, but when we do streams here, absolutely, I do plan to do battle lobbies as usual. Log in, and everyone of every skill level is allowed to come in. Obviously, if you're super high level, you probably won't have much fun because you'll just be destroying me. But if you want to just find other people who are casual or learning the game and just want to try some stuff out, do jump in. it will be a little bit laggy. But fortunately, we now have rollback netcode. I really wish I had one of those plugins on my Stream Deck so I could add some echo to my voice, but never really looked into it. I guess I think my voice is so boomy, it doesn't really need an echo filter. But in fact, this game does have rollback netcode. So anyone who's interested in playing, even if you're from the States, you should be able to play together fairly smoothly. What am I doing here? I'm looking for a way to change the music. Training basics, sound settings, stage BGM. All right. Oh, hold on. I'm going to write this down because I don't want to get all this stuff out of order. I have a number of things that I always want to like talk about things, but I always get them out of order. So, the first thing is catching up with you guys. Nothing much. Subs, just been a busy day. How about you? I mean, I'm doing fantastic because I've just woken up and I'm ready to play some Undernight. Uni 2 is great, man, but the network play on PC is just yikes. I can't wait. We're on PC today, everyone, so anyone who's got the Steam version, do log in. If it fails, we'll go over to PS5, PS4, whatever. Anyone here like Gundam? We've got a bunch of people on the NihongoGamer Discord. You'll want to check it out because there's a number of Gundam fans in there. Is the Uni 2 netplay bad? Ah, Chaos hasn't heard. Chaos hasn't heard the news. If you've been following Twitter or if you've tried Uni on PC so far, you will have heard that as of Thursday when it released, there were numerous issues with the game online. People would just log into ranked match online and it would crash immediately. As far as I'm aware, you had to get lucky and use player match rooms like battle lobbies, and even then I think sometimes it would crash. So apparently they have done some emergency fixes yesterday, but they are still fixing it. There are still fixes that are not complete, so we're looking forward to checking that out today. It's an early game, so that's bound to happen. Yeah, I think it could have been mitigated a bit, though. From what I've heard, the PC port was done by a company which has actually got a reputation for shipping games like this, so I think there's that aspect, but then the second aspect is they could have done an open beta. If they had done an open beta like a week early, it wouldn't have made much difference. I mean, they did an open beta for Street Fighter, right? People played that game 6 months early, and that, you know, yeah, it's a little bit unfair for competition, but we're talking about a much more niche game here. We don't have $1 million on the table for this game specifically, so I think an open beta would have been worth the risk. Partially, I still crash occasionally. Alright, I mean, I expect that it will still crash a little bit. They are fast with the hotfixes. Yeah, I don't ever want to encourage anyone to work overtime or on the weekends, but I feel like if you're a game dev for this company, or if you're working for ArcSys as the publisher, it's on you to fix it this weekend. It really would make sense if you take Monday and Tuesday off instead, and you work on Saturday and Sunday, and you get this fixed. Because for the sake of the game, not for the sake of me. Like, I could play training mode all day and I'll be fine not playing online. Sounds good? Excellent. Glad to hear it. Audio's good. Thank you very much. Okay, I may miss a few messages here, but I'm just going to keep scrolling. How do I join the Discord? Is it not in the description box? Oh no, I forgot I can't click on the chat. Oh man, this game. Okay, so I'm not going to click on the chat to try and type it for you, but if someone else can get an invite link to the Discord and post it in the chat for me, that would be very nice. Unfortunately, if I click anything outside of the game, the whole stream setup will fall apart, so I'm not gonna... This game, unfortunately, does not have a borderless windowed mode. I think even if it did, it wouldn't work. So, this is one of those situations where it's much better to stream this game from the console version because you don't have to worry about windows grabbing focus from each other. Alright, so since Maz has mentioned it, I'm going to move straight on to that as the next topic. But content for Undernight inbirth has been fantastic, but also interesting. There's two aspects to the content for this game. So what I'm talking about is DLC. The night before Undernight inbirth released, Undernight inbirth 2 released, they gave us information about the 3 new characters that will be coming in the season pass. I can't remember their names. They are Uzuki, Ogre, and Izumi. I do remember their names, apparently. And the second part is content made by us, so user-generated content. And I think I'll start with user-generated content, because before we get into this, as much as I'm enjoying making user-generated content, making these videos, making these streams, I did watch the Zeta Slow stream, and I did notice that I had to watch the VOD because I was at work, but he has a really interesting discussion. So if you check out his channel, Zeta Slow, on YouTube, I think it's one of his more recent streams, the one before the Tekken stream. He spends the first hour talking about, Uni 2, the situation with the content in the game and content like that users are generating, and I think he has some really interesting stuff to say. But on that topic, literally yesterday or the day before, there's a video that released by a channel called Scrappy Sensei, and I was not expecting it to be that in depth. When someone makes a video saying like, oh, this game is underrated, or this is the underdog of the fighting game world, I'm like, okay, this person's going to have a chat about their experiences with the game. What I didn't expect was it to be a full-blown documentary going into probably 10 times more detailed than the Hold Back to Block documentary, which I also recommend. Fantastic documentary if you're interested in getting into the game. Introduces all the concepts. It's got Brett on there talking about like how the basics of the game work. So I recommend watching that documentary. But man, this video that came out this week on the Scrappy Sensei channel, first of all, hadn't heard of the channel before, but now I'm a fan. Absolutely amazing. This video, I was like, okay, he's probably going to mention that French Bread used to be a Dojin studio. Did not expect him to list every single game they've ever made and show footage from all of the games. So he's like, these are the Dojin games they made when their company wasn't even called French Bread. It was when their company was called Watanabe. So I knew that the company was called Watanabe, and I knew that he had worked on a number of Dojin games, but I had only seen about 2 or 3 of them. I hadn't seen footage of all the other ones. So blown away to see footage and actual information about production of all of those games. He'd obviously like read all the interviews or whatever. I don't know how he collected all this information together. But this is one of the things about making content for Undernight inbirth. There are a huge number of people who, when they talk about Undernight inbirth, they obviously have a very in-depth knowledge. But that content isn't on YouTube. It's just not in a video, and it's just because these people don't have time. They've got full-time jobs, or they're running tournaments. They don't have time to make content for this stuff, but the information is clearly there. The people who know this stuff are clearly there. When you watch people stream this game, they'll just chat off the top of their head, oh, by the way, this is the company that also did this thing, and they, back in the day they used to do this. And it's like, how do you know this? It's like, we only ask that because we can't find the information. We're like, there's no YouTube video for that. But the information is out there. So the bridging of the gap for Undernight now is for people who have this information to get it to the people who can make content. Because obviously, the people who have this information don't have the time to make videos. Like the video by Scrappy Sensei, it's not like he made that in a week. At the end of the video, he says, I made the script for this video for a year. He spent a whole year. He spent like a whole year putting this video together. It's obviously been worth it. Obviously he was working on the video for like mostly a year before it was even released, before it is even announced that Undernight inbirth 2 was actually coming. So he was going to make the video anyway. But then at Evo they announced it last year that Undernight inbirth 2 was coming out. Then he was obviously able to switch course and change the ending of the video. Guys, go and check it out. I can't believe how much extra stuff I did not know. I didn't even know the company's not called French Bread. Did you know that? I thought the name of the company was French Bread, but he says in the video, and I don't know what the logistics, I don't know what the legalities of this are, but he said you can't trademark a proper noun or common noun. You can't trademark a common noun. I don't know how it works exactly. So the name of the company can't be French Bread because that's just a normal thing that everyone can buy. So the name of the company is called Unknown Corporation. Is there, hands up Hands up in the chat if you knew that, because I 100% did not. Dojin means self-published. It got popular from 18+ mangas. Oh yeah, so there's this information about this. That's actually one of the better parts of the video. The other thing is, you know, when you first discover a channel, you've never heard anything by them before, but this guy, Scrappy Sensei, he's hilarious. Like, literally he's made sure that every minute or every 3 or 4 minutes or so, there's a really funny joke in there. And I think there's a bit where he like talks about Dojin. He's just like, I'm not going to explain what it is. But it's great because I think 98%, 99% of people watching that video specifically, I'm pretty sure they already know. They already know what Dojin is, and obviously the predominant form of comic that is associated with Dojin circles. Anyway, they are French bred now, and after many years of Dojin games and making games for other people, successful, very exciting games, we now have Undernight inbirth 2, and most importantly of all, here on PC. So that I just wanted to I can't believe I spent like half an hour talking about this one video. I think that's a fantastic video, but other stuff that Zeta does talk about in his stream, and you should definitely check out the first hour or so where he's just talking all about it, is where is content going for this game in the future? Now, it's only like day 1 or day 2, so I really think there's no need to worry about it too much, but it is possible that we're missing out on this potential zone. Now, if you check on YouTube, there are a number of channels making stuff, and I suppose Justin has streamed it, and Diaphone, I don't know if he streamed it, but he made a fantastic video, like 10 tips on how to like get up and running in Undernight if you're a beginner. It's not that there's no content, but this also happened when Uniclear came out. A number of people made one video, and then they moved on to other stuff. They're like, this game is awesome, like, this game is sick, and then they never play it again, or even if they are playing it again, they're not making content for it. And it's I don't know if the word is catch-22 or chicken and the egg situation, but the problem with Undernight content on YouTube as a content creator is that actually, if you make Undernight content, you can kind of kill your channel. I only say this because my channel was not an Undernight channel. It wasn't even really a fighting games channel, but then eventually it became quite like a controllers channel, and then a fighting games channel, and then I ended up playing a lot of Undernight, and literally, I think it was Undernight. Undernight was like the straw that broke the camel's back. That's when my channel was like shifted. Like the algorithm was like, okay, you're obviously not going out and skateboarding around Japan anymore. We're gonna stop suggesting your videos to a lot of people, and that's fine. Like, fortunately, I have a full-time job, so I don't have to rely on my channel as my primary form of income. But anecdotally, if you try to force content down people's throats, obviously they're entitled to not watch it. And with Undernight, even though we feel very passionately about the game, and everyone who loves the game, obviously you can see that the passion is there. Just because you made a fantastic video, it doesn't mean your channel is going to be wildly successful, or that there's going to be any reward. And so that's another part of the thing with making content for Undernight inbirth. Another thing, the thing about content for Undernight inbirth is that you just kind of have to accept that there might be no reward. And after you've done content for as long as I have, and as long as a lot of people have been doing it, you start to realize that's probably the best way to be. To do videos for the sake of wanting to do it is the most, and maybe the only satisfying way to survive and continue doing it. For example, you could be successful on YouTube by making stuff that YouTube wants you to make, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll survive, as in continue to do it. I think if you do it not for the reward, but because you want that Undernight content to be out there, then you're going to be just fine. But if you see that there's not a lot of content out there, remember that every time someone makes an Undernight video, they probably notice a drop in their views on their videos. That's probably part of the situation. In any case, I do think that now is the time to post something if you're gonna post anything. If it's gonna be a reaction video, if it's gonna be a guide, if it's gonna be how to select your main character, like, lots of big YouTubers who don't play this game very often making fantastic videos just by doing some research, sitting in front of a camera for half an hour, and then talking about each character as best as they can. And this is the time to push the game. If there's ever been a time, you want to do it now. Because if you try and push it later, it's like trying to push a rock up a mountain by yourself. But if everyone's also pushing the rock, then you might actually get the rock up the mountain. It could actually happen. It's like when they got Uni into Evo to start with. Apparently that was because they all concentrated on showing up to tournaments at the same time. That's what they said in the documentary anyway. So that's pretty much all I really want to say about content creation for this game. If it's going to happen, it kind of needs to be now. It could happen later, and honestly, I think the game's going to be fine, even if the game doesn't have massive numbers and it's not easy to find matches on ranked. That's fine. That's not the kind of game this needs to be. We've got it now. People are going to enjoy it. We'll do our best to keep it in the limelight and spotlight, but it doesn't have to follow the same path that other fighting games did. Sorry, that was quite the discussion. I was too busy chatting to actually read what you guys were saying. Sorry. I will chat now. Excuse me. If anyone hasn't seen Justin Wong play the trials for Undernight 2 yet, definitely watch. It's funny. I would actually like to see you and Justin play. Yeah, I may have played more Undernight than Justin, but Justin's on a completely different level. We may both have YouTube channels, and so in some regards it may seem like that might be interesting, but the truth is, I think if I played Justin in any game, even if he'd never played the game, I'm pretty sure he would wipe the floor with me, and I don't think it would be as interesting as maybe you think it would be. But yeah, now I've met Justin a couple times because he was sponsored by Victrix. I remember meeting him at the Victrix booth, and I've interacted with him a few times. And actually, the truth is, we've never done any videos together or anything, so... But he's always in Japan. He comes over to Japan all the time, so I do think there would be an opportunity. I just have to think of something that would actually be interesting, because us playing a match together, unlikely to be killer content. I have to do some Uni 2 fan art. Yes, you absolutely do. I would love to see your version. Probably Kuon or Kaguya, because she seems pretty popular. I wonder why. I absolutely cannot think of any reason why. I can think of 2 reasons. Funny gun woman, go brr. Sejam fan. Anyone who says brr, I know you're a Sejam fan. Another streamer you should absolutely check out, because Sejam is one of those people who can pick up pretty much any game immediately, but he does a fantastic job of introducing people who've never heard of a game to a game and actually making them like it and continue to play it. He's not just like flavor of the week, I'll just play you this game and we'll just use it for its content. He learns the game and he turns a certain percentage of his fan base into core fans of the game. That's what I think his superpower is. That used to be his name. He used to have Superman in his name, right? That's the lore I heard. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you can't D-rank in Uni 2? That can't be true. No way. Really? There might be some ranking protection. Your content is great, dude. You're probably my starter channel that got me into fighting games and getting an arcade stick. Yes! Join us! By the way, I'm playing on the... I was going to say Pantera. Does anyone remember what this is called? Kitsune. I will never remember what this is called because Razer keeps using random Japanese words for their products that have nothing to do with the product. It just means fox. I follow since moving to Japan vlogs. Since moving to Japan vlogs, but I'm not big at commenting. I am not 100% sure what you mean by moving, but if you mean like you used to watch vloggers in Japan, like I used to vlog around Japan, and actually I stopped doing it because I didn't like serial content. I didn't like content there where people just show up to see like the latest update. Like, oh, I wonder what they're doing today. I wanted to make content that was specifically interesting because it's this product, or interesting because it's this thing that hasn't been tried before. And then I ended up doing streaming, which is exactly the same thing, but you just do it from your bedroom. So I don't know. I was like, nah, I'm not about that vlogging stuff, and then here I am doing exactly the same thing, but I don't even go out anymore. I wish they didn't release this game so close to Tekken 8. It will affect the game, but I think long term probably won't have a massive effect on the game. But yeah, in the near term, it's just an excuse that people use, actually. I mean, I understand that money-wise, it's a genuine excuse, but I think a lot of people were probably never going to play Tekken, or they were never going to play Undernight, and then they'll just say, well, the reason I'm not playing the other one is because they released so close together. It's like, I reckon if this game had released in its own complete window, you still wouldn't have played it. No, I'm not talking about you specifically, I'm talking about just people in general. I think some people do have genuine reasons for not wanting to play this, for not playing. Mortal Kombat 1 videos are all super toxic. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. The only reason I don't really play that game is because I'm not super into gore, and secondly, I haven't been told like what's fun about the game. Like every time I ask people who play Mortal Kombat, I'm like, would you recommend Mortal Kombat to me? What's special? What's fun about Mortal Kombat? If you ask me what's fun about Undernight inbirth, I would tell you the grid system is so interesting. Like, in addition, completely on top of just being a fun fighting game that's anime. It's anime, but it's not an air dasher. In addition to that, the grid system is wildly fascinating, and the characters are really cool. When I ask people, like, what's cool about MK Mortal Kombat, they're just like, it's so awesome! And I'm like, I know, okay, give me something qualitative, or give me some quantitative information about it, like quantify this answer. It's okay, we love long talks. I'm glad to hear that. I don't mind if this game will only peak at around 1,000 players plus per day, more than enough for a functional online experience. Yeah, that would be really nice if it did get to 1,000 plus players per day. I don't even know if that is likely, but it's okay. This is something that's really difficult to like swallow, but it's okay for a game to not have like a quote unquote healthy online ranked mode, because I think after, you know, a couple decades of this experience, I think we all know now that maybe ranked isn't the best way for people to first experience the game anyway. So yeah, personally I would like to be able to fight randoms online. But actually, is that how you got into your favorite hobbies? Did you buy a badminton racket and then just show up in your backyard to play with random people who walked by? It's not, is it, right? When you get into a sport, or if you get into playing a musical instrument, you show up to an orchestra. The orchestra is in a certain town nearby your city, so you're located near these people. Already, just by showing up to a local orchestra, you've already got something in common with these people. And with fighting games, it was the same, right? You showed up at an arcade. It was probably the same arcade that you went to every day after work or after school. You've already got something in common with the people there. And it goes on to locals. Even when arcades disappeared, people went to locals. That's where everyone has something in common. You know, they like the games, but they also live in a similar place, and so they have a shared understanding of their surroundings. But when we go online, we're like, I should be able to make friends without trying. And ranked, unfortunately, if ranked is like the main thing for a game, I think it could actually turn people away from it. To be honest, I think that's exactly what's going to happen with a game like Undernight, and to be honest, loads of other fighting games that have a ranked online experience. If they don't have these player hubs, like Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8, or Granblue. So those are 3 games that released within the past year, one of them in the past day, and they know that if ranked online is the first thing you experience with the game, it's possible that you'll never boot the game up ever again. So yes, I would like to see a healthy online ranked mode player base for Undernight inbirth, but at the same time, because so many people are really good at this game and some people are really beginners at this game, because of that massive skill gap in the player base, I think it's entirely possible that any time a person shows up new in this game, if their first experience or only experience is ranked match online, they'll never play it again. Which is why I think it's better, if you can, to find people to play with through any other means. Just because you're more likely to stick with it. So for example, if there's anyone here just to watch the stream and they want to hang out, you're already chatting in the chat. We're already talking through the mic. We're already watching the same information. We've got a lot of stuff in common and we can go from there. The next thing you could do is show up to locals. Find a local that has the game, and if they don't, bring the game with you to your local and say, does anyone want to play this game with me? Bring my PlayStation and a portable monitor, and that's another way you could do it. Pick it up with a friend and play on Discord with each other until you're good enough. If once you get better than your friend, then you can start going on other Discords and finding other people. Ranked match. If that's the first experience that you have with a fighting game, it could easily turn you off. Sajam is super solid at picking anything he picks up. I would love to like interview him one day because he's obviously got an insanely strong mindset when it comes to so many things, and I really want to know where it comes from. Is it really just that he was a wrestler and he had a great upbringing and he ended up with this really strong mindset? Because everyone else I know, myself included, has massive weaknesses in our mindsets, like these massive gaping holes that hold us back from doing this or from doing that. But Sajam, I think Superman, which is part of his original username, I think, Superman Sajam, I think it's actually an extremely apt description for him because he does things in a super sort of way, as if they're like bulletproof. Like there are no holes in his strategy. Even when he got, I don't remember what he said specifically, but he said he had like, what he said didn't go well with a certain person at Capcom who decided to, like, he said in his stream, he said the person didn't know how to do his job very well and he decided to not hire me ever again. And even in a situation where he lost work, like his job partly as a commentator, like for a massive, very popular game, just completely got shut out of that dimension entirely, it was still a win. He still won. He still came out of that situation on top. Because one, he got invited back. He's now working for them again. And two, what he said was like for a reason. And it made sense. He's like, what was it? I think it was just mostly that he didn't like the online, the netcode in the game. He's just like, fix the online. And he wasn't saying anything wrong. He stood by what he said. He didn't take it back. He's just like, please hire me and let me work for you again. He was just like, okay, you don't want to hire me, that's fine, but I'm gonna stand by my original statement, which was that you should fix the netcode. I don't know. I feel like the man's just bulletproof. It doesn't bother me. I'm just fascinated. I'd love to like interview him about it one day. Okay, so Jason, I feel like you put this comment on a video before. It said, who would win, Hyde or Jogo? And I actually had no idea who you were talking about. But it's because I haven't watched Jujutsu Kaisen. Is that even what it's called? Like, Jujutsu Kaisen? Her pistols! That's right, she has a couple pistols. That's right. Who, Justin? He's not that strong. Me and him 1v1 Guilty Gear. Listen, I have a lot of respect for... I will respect anything that anyone says in the chat, but if you if you come in here and you name drop someone else and say, oh, they're not that strong, this is just a little tip, a piece of advice. My ears instantly shut off anytime someone comes in and I know you're not intentionally trying to badmouth someone, but if the first thing if at any point you name drop and you try to diss, what's the word? You do a disservice to someone who's not here, who can't protect themselves, defend themselves. My ears instantly shut off. I just as a word of advice, if you're in any other chats talking to other people, I really don't recommend saying that because he's not here, he can't defend himself. And if you're doing it to make yourself sound smart, it's also having the opposite effect. People have done this, people do this to me in Tokyo a lot. I'll be like, oh yeah, didn't Tokido just win like a recent tournament? He flew to America and he swept the floor with everyone. He won like three different categories of the game. And I'll be like standing in front of a person in Tokyo and they'll be like at a local in Japan playing Street Fighter. And they'll be like, oh yeah, no, Tokido, but he's not actually that strong. I mean, I played him in a 1-2 the other day, and I double perfected him. I'm like, what do you want me to say? You're so great. That's not what I'm gonna say. Quite the opposite. If you come in and tell me like, oh, you want to set off this guy, it's like, well, yeah, fighting games are partially rock paper scissors, so it's entirely possible that someone who has very little experience with the game could still beat a pro in this game in the right situations and with the right preparation. It's very unlikely, but it does happen. It happens all the time. People are like, oh yeah, I want to set off Daigo. I'm like, good for you. That's fantastic. Don't tell me about it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. And it's not just that I don't want to know. It's that it makes me feel. It makes my opinion of you change. It has no difference to my opinion of the person that you name dropped. So anyway, I think this is an important thing, because I would also like people to stop doing it to me. The other thing is when people tell me that they've met YouTubers, right? This is kind of frustrating, but once you have a certain number of thousands of subscribers, people want to tell you other YouTubers that they've met, and that's totally fine. You know, if you show up to me and you're just like, oh yeah, I really got into fighting games because of Rooflemonger's channel and Diaphone's channel, and I've recently discovered your channel as well. I'm like, that's super sick. I love that you are watching YouTube videos and enjoying fighting games. But if you come in and tell me like, oh yeah, no, I met Casey Neistat once and he was actually a bit of a jerk, like I offered him some advice in Undernight inbirth and he told me like, get out of here, you're a scrub. I'd be like, why are you telling me this? Why are you telling me this? Why are you disrespecting someone who's not here to defend himself? It doesn't make me think that you're cool, and it doesn't make me think the other guy is a jerk. Even though you told me he's a jerk, it doesn't make me think that he's a jerk. I have no reason to believe that. All it makes me think is, oh man, I was really hoping that we could have a real conversation, but now I've lost respect for you. Even though I think maybe that's not really what you intended. So anyway, I think that was a fun discussion, and I've actually, it's not that I've lost respect for you specifically. I just think that was an important topic that I wanted to talk about anyway, and I never really had a good excuse to bring it up. But people do it all the time. They're just like, oh yeah, no, I've met that guy in real life. He's actually a real jerk. It's like, Thank you. But how about when I meet him in real life, I'll make my own decision. If you tell me something, I don't know if the word is qualitative. If you give me a real story, like, no, okay, well, you should definitely meet him sometime. When I interacted with him, he didn't. If he's just don't give me your opinion of, don't tell me that he's a jerk. If you say like, he jumped in front of the line, he jumped the queue in front of us all when we were at the tournament, and I thought maybe that was his to player privilege, but maybe he had a special reason to do it. If you're like fair and you're not attacking someone when they're not in the game, you know what I mean? Like if you're playing the fighting game against someone but they're not actually in the match, it's like they're AFK. You're always going to win the battle against someone who's AFK. Oh, what? What's this? Did you say? Okay, so I only got to the. Okay, well, listen. Okay, I half take back what I said to you. Because the sentence started off with "he's not that strong." So another thing, I don't know if this is a bad habit or a good habit, but as a streamer, I often only have time to read the first 8 words of a comment. If I read all of the comments, sometimes I just run out of time. So often I will read the first 8 words of a comment and try to respond as much as I can. I didn't. In fairness, I didn't see that you wrote with one hand tied behind his back. So that's on me. And I totally apologize. But it was a really good jump off point for something that I have always had in the back of my mind and wanted to speak about. Heck no. If someone jumps a queue or holds up a tournament because they want to play some casuals or money matches, they are a jerk. Right, and if you know for sure that they've done something that was uncool, then you're totally within your rights to say that they're a jerk. But to yourself, you don't need to tell me. Like it just makes it really difficult for me on stream if you disrespect someone who's not here to defend themselves. 8 words, got it. This is it. In the future, all comments, all chat messages need to be 8 words or less. I'm sorry. I'm not ignoring the rest of messages on purpose. Just like this is a habit of mine, and I think it might be a bad habit. But then again, I think it might be the only reason. I think it might be the only realistic way to actually read all chat messages while you're in a stream is to like skim through them and try and get as much of them as you can. But I make mistakes, man. As you guys know, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I make mistakes. Having a fun shared space online inside the game is very important for player retention. Totally agree. FG devs have a challenge of developing such a space in complete contrast to the core gameplay. And it's not just fighting game developers. People have been struggling with this in every genre. How do we create safe, shared online spaces where people can interact in the ways that they did when they were online? And honestly, if you ask me, it's still not solved. I think when there was talk of the metaverse, which is just another word for VR chat, when there was talk of the metaverse and the future of what that might look like and what that might be, I think that is where we're starting to get a little bit closer to the vision of, you know, getting back to what we actually had when we were actually located and situated close to each other. But who knows? Maybe the solution is to just get off our computers and go and actually interact with people. But yeah, it's tricky, for sure. Sorry, Blackstar, I 100% apologize. I 100% apologize. I should have read your whole message. And it was, actually reading it back with the whole sentence with one arm tied behind his back, it is actually quite funny. So you have my apology. Curious about your opinion on the Palworld game and the controversy on copying Pokemon. I think I could talk about that for a long time, but I'm going to keep it short. My opinion is that obviously it is highly inspired by Pokemon, but there is no proof. There's no proof that it was developed with AI, and my main overarching opinion on Palworld is that yes, we're upset now because it's a form of AI that we can point our fingers at and see with our eyes, but this is like 1% of what is going on with AI. This is literally skimming the surface of what is actually happening with AI. So yes, we're all pointing our fingers at Palworld and they're like, how dare you use character models from other games. But whether it uses AI or not, it's important, but we are really skimming the surface. Like at the moment, this is like a 1% of the problem that we're hyper focusing on just because the game is very successful. And in addition, this is only the start. As much as we dislike it and we want to like legislate against it, people using AI to copy games and create more games, like it or not, this is a very, very real part of the future of game dev. What we've had for the past 20, 30 years or so has been like a golden age of creativity. But there will be very little need. There will be much less demand for this creativity going forward. If you've ever played, oh man, I can't believe you tricked me into having a long discussion about this, but if you've ever played a mobile game, you already know that there's no creativity happening here. That's not that, okay, not that there's no creativity happening. There's obviously some creative individuals are being hired to work on some of the mobile games, but we all know that the goal of the mobile game is not to be a super interesting mechanic or a super interesting story. It's to make you log in and stay logged in, and then be sold stuff and loot crates and loot boxes. Okay, there are some games that are not going down that path, but ultimately that's what it is for most mobile games, and it's working. It's working. And do you want to know what the response is from people? They're fine with it. They're fine with it. They're like, oh, you carbon copied same anime character 800 times and you gave them, one of them's in a kimono and one of them's in a hat and one of them's got wings. Good for you. Some of these designs are gorgeous, for sure, but let's not forget that ultimately it's a giant machine filled with billions of dollars, which they spend on advertising, loot crates, and gambling mechanics to make you continue logging in and do it again. It's a giant machine with a pretty face. Unfortunately, the unfortunate truth about it is that we love our giant billion-dollar generating machines with pretty faces. We absolutely love them. And if they were made with AI, we would never know. Even if they're not made with AI, if they're still basically carbon copies of each other. And everyone's response overwhelmingly has been, sure, they're cute, I like it, so I'm gonna buy it. And with AI and the allegations being made against Pocket Pair and Pal World, this is just the start. We're only hyper focused on it because the game has sold so well. But this is one of about 50 to 100 other cases that will happen next month, probably. I think from February onwards, you're going to see lots and lots of games that all started development in 2023 and they're all just releasing now. And why? Because it's very easy to release a game in 6 months if all your assets are made from AI and all the code is generated by AI as well. Not saying that's what happened with Power World, I have no idea. But we are only skimming the surface. It is all about to come out. Loads and loads and hundreds of games, and you should 100% expect that the only games, if you're like a true gamer, if you're a traditional gamer from the past 20 or 30 years, the games that you're going to want to play are going to be developed by people who make no money off it. Like the only place to find the games that you're probably looking for, if you just enjoy games that are fun for the sake of being games, it's going to be from companies that are working on them as passion projects. To be honest, if you ask me, I already think that Undernight inbirth has gone down that path. They've accepted their fate. They're published by a company that pays them, so fantastic for them. They can stay afloat. But they're not doing this because it's a massive, money-making, successful idea. This is like, obviously the North American community loves this game a lot, and we love making it, so let's make it. Obviously, we're not going to make a lot of money on it. To be honest, ArcSys probably doesn't even really want to help us make it, but we're going to do it anyway. I think that's where the fun is going to be going forwards in the future. And everything else is going to be an AI clone. And most people are going to be like, I'm fine with it. So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. It's time to play some Undernight inbirth. Who owns this game? I don't know how to get out. Okay. Main menu. Okay. Get myself in the correct position. I have not practiced. I have not done training mode. I don't own anything. I haven't even created. I haven't selected a character online yet. Who has this game on Steam? Now is your chance. Should we choose a horrifically ugly color? I feel like we should make a NihongoGamer color cassette. Maybe there already is one. Oh yeah, but they're all hideous. Yeah. Not custom 101, just shadow approach. Auto. And we're going to try and make a player match room. The room is... Just gonna delete this. The room is called NihongoGamer. The password is 77... Oh no, but I do have to type on the thing. That's fine, whatever. Winner stays, skip time, whatever. Sure, it will be fine. Is there any way to have like... King of the Hill? No. Winner stays, loser stays, no rotation. Random. Random could be fun. Do you have consecutive play restriction? No. Whatever. Seriously. Just let it happen. I'm sure I'll regret that. So what I realized is I forgot I do have to click this button. I wish I had you know what? I'm gonna buy that giant stream deck with like 6 million buttons. I think that might be the only solution. Okay. Awesome. Ein is in. Oh no. Okay. So I've heard that these 999 millisecond ping connections, they might crash the game. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, everyone. It's time to see if Undernight inbirth 2 on PC works. We're in player match. All right. I'm ready. I don't know if my buttons are set. I hope this is fine. Maybe I will still sit back. This is not a great chair. Ergonomic chairs are not really my recommendation for fighting games. I hope. Oh no, communication error. But the game didn't crash. The game didn't connect. We didn't connect, but oh my. LT. That was you, Endymion. You want to have another go? Dear. Yeah. Well, let's see if any of the anything is able to connect. Try again. Come on, PC, Steam. I have some faith in you. What's new? What's new is the Steam version of Undernight inbirth 2. But unfortunately, as you can see, getting into the match is a little tricky. Do you actually work at French Bread? I do not. In fact, I think if I did work at French Bread, it would probably be difficult. It would be more difficult to make content for it. So it's probably better that I don't work at French Bread. Not working. Is anyone else able to get into the room? Boot up. They fixed PC. Hard to say because we've tried twice now and we're not getting into this match. If this does fail, we could actually just sit around chatting, or we could download Tekken, but I think it's like 1,000,000 gigabytes. I don't actually know when it will work. Try booting up the game. Yeah, boot up the game and let's see. I really want to see if we can get any matches at all. I can try remaking the room as well. Should I try remaking the room? I've remade the room. How do I search the room? I think you go to player match and you say search rooms, and the room information is here on the stream. It says PC Steam. I think a day ago it was region locked, but they said in the update that has been fixed, so we shall see. Here we are. It says 999 again. Let's try. We got an Akatsuki in the waiting room. Sweet. Don't skip the intros! Don't skip the intros! Got PTSD from BB Tag days. Don't skip the intros. Is it gonna work? Come on, Steam, I believe in you. I don't believe in you. I literally have no faith. We're in! We're in! Don't skip the intros. Okay, so what is the actual ping? It's obviously not 999. We're playing on back. We're playing on back. We're playing Undernight inbirth 2 rollback. I literally shorted my whole sentence to unback. I was so excited. Getting beaten. Oh no! Oh, ouch! Overhead. And I was crouching for no reason. Yeah, unfortunately, they did not make it capable of playing multiple matches at the same time in a lobby. We are still living in 2012 in this game. Wow, that's not what I wanted, but it's okay, I'll take it. Oh man, this music is so good! What? Did I mess up my input? This version of the Lene music is 10 out of 10. Oh no, the game kicked you for a second. Wait, are we playing you now? Or did they kick you out of the waiting room? Yeah, so there's a new mechanic in the game. Seems I've grown. I got a Steam thing. All right, let's try again. Steam, I believe in you. I'm typing the keyword, but it doesn't find it. Really? Sometimes it helps to just log out of network mode and log back in and try again. If it completely isn't working, it might help to change your Steam region, not the download. I can't remember if it's the download. If you change your download region to Japan on Steam, that can sometimes help. This is one of those things that we would like to change because it does cause a lot of friction when the games launch and new players can't play with each other because their regions don't work. Oh no! It kicked everyone out of the room. Oh dear. Oh, everyone's back? Okay, another person got kicked. Everyone just got booted. Oh Steam, what a successful launch you've had for Undernight inbirth. You're falling apart at the seams, oh Steam. Why? Why does it have to be like this? Good morning. Oh dear. Yes, everyone. So, oh yeah, yes. So the room name that you search for is NihongoGamer, but the keyword that you type in is 7777. Ultra secure pin code, of course. NihongoGamer, how can I become Nihongo Jozu? You just watched that one channel. It's called Dogen. All right, Iron. Let's try again. What? Look, it doesn't even tell us the ping number anymore. It's just given up. Or has it always been like that? What's up, Aoki? Man, I would like to play, but I'll have to wait until my next paycheck. Fair enough. This is a thing. Like this is a lesson that it was difficult for me to learn. I think everyone's got difficult lessons to learn, but one for me is I often make assumptions that everyone's in a similar situation to me. It's just it's just one of those issues that comes with years and years of being self-centered. It's true. It's true. Not everyone has the cash to throw away to invest in Undernight inbirth. Unfortunately, Steam is not happy. So if this attempt doesn't work, I'll back out of the room and I'll create it again. But on the plus side, at least everyone has got into the room, and this is without changing your region. So kind of positive. Did they even playtest the PC version? I'm absolutely certain that they didn't. I'm absolutely certain that they didn't try it even a single time. I'm sure that they were working on the console version and they just gave it to Cyclone Zero, and Cyclone Zero said, "Don't worry, it'll be fine." But as you can see, so I'm going to back out of the room and try again. Sorry about this. But we had one match. Let me in. I'll message your message. Thanks for reminding me. Did you buy a PS Portal yet? The answer is no. No, I haven't bought a PS Portal, and I probably won't. I think it might be fun for content, but at the same time, I think it might be a bit of a waste of money. Mostly because I can play PlayStation stuff on my phone. It would be nice to have the PlayStation DualSense controller, though, I suppose. The thing is, anything that actually needs precise control also needs to be lag-free, and I don't know. Do I really want to be... I mean, I'm sure that the lag would be pretty good if you're playing within your house, but... Oh man, it is really not happening, is it? Come on, Steam, I believe in you. Okay, I'll try one more time, and then I'll actually back out of network mode entirely. And then if that fails, I'll back out of the game. I'll actually... I'm not going to uninstall it. I'll just reboot. I'll try and reboot the game and see what happens. I mean, I think that's a fair question. It's definitely the sort of thing that you would expect to see on my channel. But the thing is, if they're not going to send me a review unit, I think my only option with PS Portal would be to buy it, review it, and then sell it secondhand to someone else. I think that's the only way I can make that financially viable for me. The thing is, I tend to turn down offers on videos if I already know that I'm going to have nothing like positive to say about it. So I'm going to back out of here. I'm going to try again. Play a match. Create room. We can do this. I think Harada is sabotaging Undernight online play. I think that's very unlikely. I think as far as I'm aware, I think he likes... I mean, he's never mentioned that he likes the game or anything, but I'm fairly certain that he likes the success of other fighting games. I don't think he's afraid of Undernight cannibalizing, eating the player base from Tekken anytime soon. How are you liking uni? I've heard of the netplay issues. They are legendary and they traveled far and wide. The issues of the netplay. This is a fun experience. I commend you all on your determination. I'm gonna keep trying. I'm just gonna sit here for the next hour and I'm just gonna keep clicking okay, because I really want to play this game. I really want to play. You saw the fight about to start. Interesting. I just can't. It's that Tumblr blog. I just can't today. I just can't uni today. And maybe never. I will say, French bread. Actually, not French bread. I will say, Arxis, that this is probably the worst marketing campaign you could possibly have for a fighting game. Because everything boils down to, like, influencers these days. Like, your game can be made or broken by the reactions from big influencers. I'm not talking about myself, but for example, people show up to Sejam's stream and 3,500 people watched Uni fail. They watched Uni fail, and you do not know how much damage you are doing to your own published titles by allowing them to ship like this. I'm not saying this out of entitlement. I'm not saying like I deserve to have a better release. I'm only saying this for the good of the game. If you allow your published titles to go out the door in this state, you can only expect it to fail. The question is, was that the intention all along? Yeah, I'm looking forward to fighting you guys as well. Yoroshiku tanomu. Maybe I will back out and you guys can just let me know if you can have a match. How do I pass? I pass. Y. Okay, I'll try going to the back of the queue and let's see what happens. Does Undernight inbirth 2 have de novo? I highly doubt that Undernight inbirth 2 has anything that would have cost them anything more than free. The concept that they may have spent money paying a company to put anything extra into the game, like DRM, is unimaginable. I'll pray to the RNG gods for mercy. A timeout occurred during the match. Sad times. And everyone's been kicked out. Okay, here's what I'll do. I will, give me 1 second, I will just back out of the game and reboot it. Undernight or inbirth. Oh no, I can't even figure out which button is the exit button. That's another thing with console ports. Trying to figure out which button gets you into the game and which game gets you out of the game is like impossible. Do you guys remember Final Fantasy VIII? The only way to get out of Final Fantasy VIII was to control Q. The only way to get out of that game, like, they didn't put a quit option into the menu, and so the only way to get out was to control Q out. How many people even know what that shortcut is these days? I bet most people don't even know. In the old days, control Q was the shortcut that you used to back out. Maybe if I make it a two-person room, it could be just that there's multiple people in the room. Yeah, the opening song is good. Alt F4. Really? Is that how I... Is that what I should press to make the game work? That is another way to get out of the game, for sure. Escape. You get out with escape. Yeah, if you've got your keyboard on you, but what if you're like 3 feet away from your PC with your leverless controller on your lap? You know, on a positive note, at least we're having fun with Uni. At least we're having fun laughing at it. All right, I've got another strategy. You guys, check this out. I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna make this a two-person room. We're gonna see what happens. Two-person room. It could be that people joining the room while it's running is the trouble. Yeah, I'm not sure what Capcom's strategy was with the DRM that they added. It seems a little suspect. Laughing through the pain. The thing is, this is gonna sound super wild, but even though it doesn't work, I'm still having more fun than before when Undernight was this thing that I liked, that I was trying to push to people, that and they were just like not having anything, having none of it. They're like, yeah, we see that you like the game, but we don't really care about it. At least now it's got this momentum where it's like people wanna see it. The problem is just that they can't. I like the little flash, that little red flash when you ready up. Are you playing Tekken? I don't think I have time to download it and play it today. I think if anything, we'll just switch to... I think if anything, we'll just switch to PlayStation and play this on PS5. Any ideas for a 3D remake of BB Tag? Jason, that is the least... What? We're in! Okay, so I think the solution was to... Oh. Invincible. Ouch. No, 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 no. I mean, it feels smooth to me. Wow, for a 999 millisecond delay. Yeah, I really wondered what the actual was. This feels closer to like 100. Ah! Whoops. Not dead. The RNG god smiles upon us. On this day, we eat our daily French bread. Nope. Okay. It's great because without the delay netcode, I feel like it's easier to like confirm whether you've hit someone. Ouch. And actually do the combo afterwards. I feel like when it was delay, you just did the combo anyway, regardless of whether it hit or not. You just hoped. Did it hit? I don't know. I better do the input just in case. But with rollback, I feel like if the move hits, then you can continue. I don't know. I feel like hit confirming might actually be a thing now. I don't know if it's really down to the netcode. Isaiah, should we have one more match just in case? Before you back out. Okay, you backed out. Okay. Yeah, the room is just 2 people now. So if we just play matches, hopefully they run, and then next person just has to jump in the room. I have a feeling that this might actually succeed. I'm glad it worked. It felt great. Yes! Yes! All the winning. That's okay. Maybe next time. We're going to be here for the next hour or so playing matches, so just come back in when there's a lull. That is the least. What did I mean? What did I say? Can you remind me what the rest of the sentence was that I was saying? The Steam Deck test. No thanks. I'm not sure if that would be... What, now? You want to test on Steam Deck now? I was being lazy playing on keyboard, but yeah, it works amazingly. Fantastic. Yeah, I haven't got enough experience to say whether the netcode feels good yet, but that match felt good. How do we do a first to 2 match? I think there is a setting that I can make that work, but for now, let's just stick with first to 1s, I guess. Still playing Undernight. You say still playing, Heath. I think it's more like attempting to play the first round. As you can see, not having super luck, but if we just keep trying, we're gonna keep on. Since it's region locked, I would hope all matches feel good regardless of netcode. I think they removed the area restriction. I feel like that was unintended. They apologized for that on x.com. I am playing from Steam Deck, but don't think EU works. Was worth the shot. Okay. We'll keep trying. Anyone who wants to keep trying. You can most certainly say that again. There have been issues, but the in-game netcode is fantastic. Yeah, when it has worked, it's been good. I'm under the impression that player matches can work, but there is the region issue in addition to numerous other problems. Undernight 1 works fine on the Steam Deck, so I'm guessing Uni 2 works on it as well. Yeah, I would expect it to work. I don't see anything in the game that's changed graphically enough to require extra processing power, but I can't say for sure. Should I try backing out again? Try backing out and try again. I don't know how to do. What is the number of player that wins the specified number of times is the overall winner? Should we put it first to 2? Try that. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I stand by what I said. Heath's in. I stand by what I said on x.com. It is sad. It's depressing even. It's shockingly depressing how poorly this launch is going. But on the flip side, at least people are talking about Undernight. Come on, Heath. Bully this game into functioning. I asked. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Jason, thanks. I wasn't sure what I was talking about. Yeah. So you asked me about an idea for a 3D BB Tag remake, and since this game is taking forever to load, I will just chat while it's loading. I think, alright, Gundam. I think that a 3D remake is the least likely thing you can expect for BB Tag, because of the number of characters involved. I think you're more likely to get like a 3D remake of Persona, the fighting game, or actually not even Blaze. Blaze Blue has 1 million characters as well. I think the problem with doing a 3D remake of BB Tag would be the amount of work required to make 3D models of characters that have never been 3D models before, unless they use all the same 3D models from other games. But the thing is, are they 3D models? In, you know, the mobile game? They've got a mobile game out there for Blaze Blue. It's called... I have no idea what it's called. But I don't know if it's 2D or if it's 3D, but BB Tag would be extra difficult because it's 4 different franchises of characters, many of whom are not already 3D. The amount of work that would be required to create the 3D models is insane. But in addition to being insane, I don't want to say in addition to being insane, the only way I think they could do it would be if they used AI. And at that point, can you see what's happening here? When people get what they want, they don't care whether it's made with AI or not. The people who are complaining about Palworld are people who are probably not buying Palworld. They're like, wow, this is terrible, because it shouldn't be like this. But 8 million people said, whatever, who cares? I'm not decided. I haven't bought Palworld yet, and I don't know if I will. But the alarming truth about the situation is that most people don't really care where their food comes from. They're ready to consume it, no matter what poisoned well it came from. Yeah, I mean, I think 3D models might be easier than redrawing all the sprites, but the thing with BB Tag, and probably the only reason it got greenlit, was that the assets were already produced. the only assets they had to make, I don't say the only assets, but the main stuff that they had to make fresh and new for BB Tag was the Ruby characters. God. Oh man. Why is this company so cursed? Every time I think about it. So, BB Tag, when you think about it, do you remember when they released the roster? Like, if you tell us that you've got planned DLC for the next 30 characters, you know what? I kind of don't mind. Whatever. Selling the game at a reasonable price, and you're going to sell us 30 DLC characters in the future. You know what? Fine. At least the game's going to have tons of cool characters coming in the future. But if you tell us that the game features 4 franchises, and one of them is Ruby, and then you can only put Vice and Ruby in the game, and then Blake and Yang were going to be DLC. God. There's just no way. There's just no situation in the world where that was going to work out okay. And I still laugh about it sometimes. So I'm going to try backing out of network mode and going back in instead of backing out of the game entirely. Also, can I just say thanks to everyone who is sticking by me with this, even though it's such a disaster. It's kind of fun to watch, right? It's like watching a... I don't want to say it. BB Tag still use the 720p sprites. To be honest, I think Undernight still uses 720p sprites, right? I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I feel like Melty Blood? Doesn't Melty Blood run natively at 720p? Oh. We're in. Okay. Remember, everyone remember the tips, because we need to post them on Twitter later. To get matches, you have to create a 2-person only room, and you need to back out. Netcode feels a little bit ropier than before. We have no idea of knowing what the ping is, but it definitely feels a little bit less stable than before. Is it? Are you playing on Wi-Fi out of interest? Oh, I forgot about that. Oops. Oops. Oh, what was that? Okay. Deaded. They're about to add delay-based netcode back with a patch. Don't say jokes like that. Okay, yeah. My inputs are not coming out. Easy inputs. We had a good run, guys. Oh. That was the wrong super. Oh well. Okay, let's see if it actually gives us the... what's it called? Let's see if it gives us the rematch option. Yes, it does. Okay. Or you can return to room. It's totally up to you. Nah. I need to have more practice. Thanks, Heath, but I need to get more real-world experience with actual matches. Say what you want about BB Tag. It has rollback that works. It does. It does indeed. The question is now, what is Undernight doing? What's he building in there? What's he building in there? I can't remember the rest of the poem. What is Undernight cooking right now? It crashed! Let's go back in. Let's try again. I can't think of a worse marketing campaign. And this is like, even if you released an ad telling people don't buy the game, an actual commercial, it would not be as effective as what's happening here, which is just releasing the game in this state. And don't get me wrong, I'm very happy to continue playing it, but that's because I was signed up to play even if it was bad. I'm not sure if I'd be signed up to play if it didn't have rollback. But this is the worst possible thing you could do to your game. If you're the publisher, don't you want to make money off this? What benefit is it to you if the game doesn't succeed? Sayonara. See you later, Master Chief. Oh, we're back in. All right. Uni is cooking, but it doesn't smell so good. Oh no. Oh gosh. Ah! Oh no. No! Okay. There is much I have to learn. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Kuon's theme. I didn't like it the first 5 minutes I was listening to it. I was like, nah, it's kind of slow. And now I'm really into it. It's got proper boss energy. Whoops. I forgot about the new move. Oh no, no, not like this. I'm not dead, am I? Okay. Ah! Reversal. Okay. Yo! Dingo, a member for 57 months. My lord. Thank you so much. I apologize for not streaming as much as I could. Will the rematch work? Will the rematch work? That's insane. I don't even know how many years 57 months is. That is an insane amount of support. Dingo, you legend. Uh-oh, is the game gonna crash again? I feel it. I feel it coming. I can sense that foreboding. I'm about to be Windows desktop. How you doing? Long time no see. Oh man. And what's actually happening is Undernight has got a shortcut to make the next match work. It knows that it needs to reboot in order to function, so it crashes on its own for you. I don't have to. It's hands-free. Undernight has built-in systems to allow you to get into the next match as quickly as possible, which is to reboot. All right, so so maximum rematches is not good. Let's go back into first to ones. Undercooked in alpha. No. No. That's too good. Oh man, it hurts how accurate it is. Undercooked in alpha. Undernight knew I would rage quit the next match, so it just did it for me. Right. Yeah. It's predictive rage quit. Uni anime when? I just don't know if it's ever gonna happen. Oh man, do you guys remember when King of Fighters 99 came out and they had that anime intro? I don't know if that was like the Dreamcast version only, but the intro to... Oh man, I wanted to play you, Heath. Let's try again. I appreciate you guys constantly trying to get into the room and trying this means the world to me. It really does. Undercooked rawer than sashimi. I don't even... It's so raw, it's still twitching. Damn, these roasts. God, poor Undernight. You know, I don't even... Wow! Man, the feel of joy when we get a match. Oh, that's 2 hits. Oh, missed. My execution is falling apart. Fingers are too tired. Oops, that was not what I wanted. Where was chain shift? Come on. There we go. Ah. Yeah, run up grab was a little bit too... No, that was the wrong super because my execution. Oh, what? It already started. What? Wait. What? Where did the intro go? I'm like blocked an overhead in Undernight and I'm kind of head is about to explode. I'm like, wait, did I just block an overhead in Undernight? What? Oh, what? You get hit by them. Damn, I didn't get a single hit in. GG's. Well, at least we figured out how to make this work without crashing. The second match, I was not ready. I was like, okay, let me back out and then back in. Back in? Or maybe I have to go to the, I think I have to go to the network menu. Oh! It crashed again! Reboot me! Don't make me play more than one match in a row. The PTSD is gonna be insane for this launch. We're gonna be talking about this for the next 8 years. Can you believe that? This is the birth of a meme. Under stress, in tears, undercooked, stillbirth. Scully, no! No! Oh no, you can't say that. Oh dear. Oh man. How is the Hori Octa really for Grand Blue Fantasy Rising? Can't get a straight answer anyway. I don't see any issue with Hori Octa, except that a lot of people, the main complaint that I've heard from people is that the D-pad's the edges are kind of sharp. I don't know if they changed that on any of the new versions though. I don't know if more recent ones are less sharp. No, I can't think of any specific issues with Hori Octa, especially for Grand Blue. If you're playing with modern controls, there are a lot of D-pads that were probably not suitable before that are fine. If you're just playing, the only thing you want to be careful of is I can't remember with the Octa, but some D-pads they have like accidental jumping. Like when I play on my 8-bit Do, like it's really convenient. It's a really convenient controller because I always have it to hand, but I get accidental jumps on it quite a lot. Undernight, I can't give birth to this game. Maybe don't skip the opening intro for Uni 2. Do we have to let the intro to the game rock? Are you serious? Is PC Online working? Yeah, it's doing its thing. Oh! We're in! Okay. I don't know when my next match will ever happen again, so... What? How did that miss? What? Ah! Oh, I think I got like automatic cross-up protection from that. That's interesting. Oh, it's AB, not BC. Oops. Oh, I screwed it. Oh, my. Oh, lucky. Whew. Yeah, my fingers. I've not been playing on Leave This for a long time because I've been playing mostly Grand Blue, and so fingers feel a bit like I've lost the. What's the word? I can't remember the word. Flexibility? No. Alright. Ah, it crashed again! Oh god. Okay, can we make a collection of all the names that you've created for this game? Oh man. Every time. How about a crash compilation? I'll just make a video called Every Time Undernight Crashed. Do you not like playing Grand Blue and Leave This? Oh no, it's just that I want to have a game that I can play on pad, and when it comes to Granblue, I think there are actually some advantages to playing on pad. Because there are so many shortcut buttons, and that's just basically how the system works. I actually find it easier to have my hands on the pad ready, because your fingers are like, well, I usually just use one finger for these two buttons, but like they're just on the buttons all the time, ready to press whatever they need to do. I mean, you're still using, you know, 2 fingers and a thumb, but I feel like using a single thumb to like press multiple buttons at the same time and always have access to all of them, it seems to work quite well for Granblue. Granblue is def a pad game. You think so too? I get that feeling like it's just suited very well to pad. I think I did try playing it on Leverless though. Undernight 1, because one game is all you get. Yeah, that's what when they do a reboot of this game in 10 years time, they'll just call it UN1. Unity. Is the PC version working now? I tried to pick up the game, but the port is bad, I heard, so I hold off for now. If you're streaming and it's just, you know, shizzles and giggles like this, then it's fine. But ultimately, this is a bad port. Like, this port is hurting Arc System Works. This is making their whole company look bad. They should. The fact that this came out the door is shocking, frankly. And don't get me wrong, I love Arc System Works. Big fan of the company. But this isn't even really a case of they didn't have enough money. This is a case of they didn't test it at all. You cannot tell me that this was tested. Like, releasing a product on Steam. It's not a small, like, off to the side, you sideload the app onto your Android phone if you want an emulator. This is the Steam release of the game that you announced at EVO, the biggest tournament in the world for fighting games. This is something that you would try at least once, right? Unless there is something I don't know about. Is it possible... I'll back out and try again. Should we let the intro animation rock? Should we watch the intro to the game? Maybe that'll help. It's leveled up. In Undernight, in BB Tag, you watched intros to the matches. Now you have to watch intros to the games. John Undernight must just hate me. I'm sorry, Heath. I really wish we could play it. I really want to play you. I appreciate you coming in, and we played Granblue the other day, didn't we? My guess, they hired a third party to port the game. In fact, Snizzle, it's not... You don't even need to guess. It's in the credits to the game. Apparently, it's in the credits of the game that it was ported by a company called Cyclone Zero, and they are not getting a lot of good press today. I know nothing about this company, and I wish them well. I honestly do. I really hope that they do fine and do well in the future. But this release has painted their company in not a very flattering color. So the game is developed by a company called French Bread, who we now know, thanks to the Scrappy Sensei video, is actually called Unknown Corporation. Can't believe I didn't know that. This is insane. The game is published by a separate company called Arc System Works. And according to the credits, which someone screenshotted and put online, the port for the PC version was made by a company called Cyclone Zero. And if you play this on PlayStation, no issues. The game is fine. The Steam version, which let's remember is published by Arc System Works. We're in! The Steam version works occasionally. Oops, right into the bullet. Oh, God. Execution. Whoop. Who's got the better bouncy balls? Actually, yours are the more bouncy ones, I suppose. Ah! What was that? This music is so good! Londrekia's theme. Oh, what? I thought it was a side switch. Wow. Sets 5cc is so good. Whoops! Whoa, whoa, whoa! The game stopped. Do you see that? The game like just paused halfway through. The connection wasn't awful. I feel like we've had better. Should we try the rematch? Should we try the rematch? Let's try the rematch. Let's see what happens. Come on. Come on. Come on, Undernight, you can do it. Should we do it with a countdown? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, it didn't crash this time. It didn't crash this time, to be fair. But it will probably crash here. No! We got to the main menu. I'm having way too much fun. I kind of hope that the game continues like this. Because it's, for the memes, you can't go wrong. That was sweet, it didn't crash. Sort of. Heath, are you trying a different color? Do you think maybe changing... Do we need to change our character colors? Maybe that's all that works. All this raw gameplay. I'm going to lunch sushi tomorrow. What was the raw... What was the... This is undercooked raw sashimi. I can't remember the title that you came up with. It was good. On Steam, lots of people just refunded. Mixed reviews scare new buyers. Yeah, they've fluffed up this launch. They fluffed up this launch. but I still have faith. We'll talk about this when we're winding down the stream, but I believe it or not, I still have faith that this game will be okay. It's having its issues now, and we can meme on it But ultimately, I think they will get this fixed, and when it does, because it feels good when you're playing the game, guys. When you're playing the game, it's like it's Undernight with rollback. I can't express that strongly enough. That it is what we wanted. It's Undernight with rollback, and it's crazy. Roar then sashimi. That's great. So good. Thank you. Sup. I mean, the community will just go back to scheduled ranked days. Uni is too good for the community to stop playing it. Yeah, I think the game ultimately, and I've felt this for a long time, that the game will. Let's try just rebooting the game one more time. Let's see what happens. I think there was some people hoping that this would bring in a huge number of new players, and I think fluffing up the PC port has put a stop to most of that. Japanese players are all playing on PlayStation, so they don't even know that there is an issue, probably. I think the Japanese community is probably like, what issues? But ultimately, what did I change? Did I change the number of rematches? Ultimately, if there were new players coming in, they would have been on PC. I felt like there were very few people waiting for this to come out on console to buy. I think they were waiting for the PC version, and fluffing up the PC release, it has got me worried to a degree. But the game isn't dead, for sure. It will just kind of go back to the way that Undernight tends to be. And like I said at the start of the stream, that's not the end of the world. It's okay to not be Street Fighter 6. It's okay for a game to have its own thing, you know? We are a Discord fighter, or we are the underdog at the locals. You know? It's okay for the game to not be Street Fighter 6. It's just that it had potential. With this new release, putting a whole number in front of the game, even though obviously it's more or less the same game, there was a lot of potential. And the room doesn't even pop up for you. Yeah, I guess people are just. It's just a competition of who can. Oh, we're in. Match their way in. So it looks like maybe certain players it's working better with. Aru, do you know if you're set to Japan as a region? Maybe that's part of it. Whoops. Maybe I should change the stage as well. Park. Oh, I can't execute. Latest. Too early. Can't execute. Oh, hideous execution. Underbaked. underbaked, dead on release. Yeah, the lobby is open. It should be open for anyone, but unfortunately it's just not accessible to more than 2 people at a time. That's how we're doing it. Has anyone else experimented with changing their region to Japan? Yeah, undersheets in bed. Isn't that what Lid uses on his stream? Either his stream titles or his thumbnails. I think on his thumbnails he uses undersheets in bed. That's another one of those things where it's like, makes fantastic content, but with a thumbnail like that, it's very Undernight. You know, it's very like, if you know, you know. And on YouTube, that's kind of your enemy when it comes to the algorithm. If you have too many things that are, if you know, you know, then you kind of tank yourself in the algorithm, because everything's based on impressions on YouTube. Your thumbnail gets shown to people a certain number of times, and that's the number of impressions that YouTube gives you. And the percentage of people who actually click on that will influence directly how many more impressions they serve to more people after that. So they're like sprinkling your seeds, as it were, out there. And if the seeds germinate and get fed and people eat them, they'll sprinkle out more seeds for you. And anytime you put something which requires prior knowledge, it makes it a little bit harder to click on. And to be honest, even putting Undernight inbirth in the title of your video can be kind of... It can put the brakes on the momentum of any momentum that your video might have had. But anyway, yeah, it's a fun meme though. I'm so sorry that these connections aren't working. I will reboot the game once, and then we'll do one final match. I'm so reboot. I'll reboot the game. I'll crash the game, and then we'll play again. Should we just play Idolmaster? Just play Idolmaster instead. I'd be up for that. No, I don't have time. So you're telling me people don't click on videos that have melons on the thumbnails? Now, hang on a minute. Now, hang on a minute. If you're telling me that you're going to put melons on a thumbnail, I'm there. I'm there. Let's put this back on no rematches and see what happens. I think it's forgetting my settings every time it crashes. Putting melons on a thumbnail can work, but even if someone clicks on your video, if they click out of the video in like the first 10 seconds, then that can also hurt you in the algorithm. So, as you can imagine, Google, which is a company filled with algorithms and your data, they have many systems all running at the same time. So, your thumbnail needs to be good, the title needs to be good, it's got to bring in the right number of people, even if they don't know about Undernight. But if they leave immediately, just when they find out that it's actually an Undernight video, then you've got to switch. Whoa, we got our final match. All right, guys. All right, Daninator. Ouch. Oh, that's low. Wait, is that low? Okay, I got this. Why did I mash a button after that? Could have just blocked. Could have just blocked. Alright. Not like this. It's crazy that, but you can block overheads in this game now. The whole game plan's changed. Why? Ah! Whoops, whoops. Not like this. Oh no! What? Wait a minute. Wait. I was totally mashing something. Wait, fine. Okay. I accept. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for attempting to have matches with me. I appreciate it. Let's see if we can actually get out of network mode without crashing. Okay, we did. Which means we have enough IP to purchase... Oh god, don't let me get the wrong track. What is... Oh, is it this one? Yeah. Why am I smiling? Why am I smiling? Do you know why I'm smiling? I'm smiling because this game is so damn good. So damn fun. The characters are awesome. Merkava is insane. It's just stretchy noodle arms. Absolutely brilliant character designs. But playing it in rollback netcode. Like, I don't actually know what these pings were. I don't know who was playing on Wi-Fi, so I don't want to judge the rollback yet. I'm sure that there are ways that it could be improved even more in the future. But so far, like, we're playing Undernight with rollback netcode. We're blocking overheads. It's crazy. So that's why I'm smiling. The second reason why I'm smiling is, wow, this is the worst PC port launch of all time. What a disaster. That was bad. That was really bad. That was hands down the worst PC experience I've had with a fighting game since I started streaming in 2018. I mean, let's go further. The worst PC experience I've had since starting YouTube. 2012. 2013? I think I started my channel in 2012. But it might be 2013. I think it might be 2013. You wouldn't say the worst. Name an experience that beats this. This game, you can't even navigate the menus without it crashing and going to the menu. Your Windows desktop. Why isn't this on Xbox? You know, I would prefer if they don't push themselves even harder, because obviously they don't even have the money to get the Steam port done right. It hurts so bad because the game is obviously fantastic. We've got rollback now. I feel like that was the main hurdle. This stuff, fixing the network lobbies, like, that can be fixed. Physically speaking, it should be able to get fixed. It just kills me to hear that people are refunding the game, you know, because they had heard, you know, they watched a Sajam stream and they're just like, yeah, this looks amazing. This looks like so much fun. And he's always so kind about the gameplay, and he, you know, he can be really harsh on games that he doesn't like. But he loves Undernight, and I know that he is one of the big reasons that inspired a lot of new players to want to pick it up on Steam. And this is what they would have been faced with. It's I've said it. I said it on Twitter. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking that we shepherded all of our followers to this game that we love, and only for the game port to fail us. Yeah, I hope they fix this game. Me too. Time to leave the horrible port and go back to PlayStation, where we can enjoy Undernight with rollback netcode. Guys, I don't know when they're going to fix this. Hopefully by the end of next week it'll be fixed, but until then, I'm not doing that again. I'll probably be playing on PS5. But you can absolutely be sure absolutely certain that I will be streaming again, hopefully soon. I plan to stream games that I think are fun. I give no Fs about what game is popular or what game is getting all the attention. That's not true. I do kind of care, but I'm not gonna let popularity dissuade me from streaming a game that I really want to play. And I've spent 3 years, because I only discovered, guys, don't forget, I only discovered Undernight like properly in 2020. Like I tried it in like 2018, but I didn't really get into it. I didn't spend much time with it. But since 2020, like really getting into Undernight, but the next 3 years just really wishing that Rollback would be released. And then finally they did. And it's amazing. I've been shoving Undernight clips into almost all my videos. Like, it's difficult to find a video where I didn't kind of sneak it in somewhere, and it's purely because just I think the game is fun. I do get that a lot of people are like really in it for the community. It's the same thing with Street Fighter or Tekken, or a lot of people love the fighting game community just for the community. But the thing is, I'm not really surrounded by the community here in Japan. I have sometimes gone to the events, but they're all way stronger than I am, so I feel like it's a little bit difficult for me to blend in with the Japan community here. Also, I just live a little bit too far away from them. But for me, it's purely down to content creators and playing the game. I love watching content, but when people make content for this game, love it. Like I did a little rundown on like the top 10 things that you should do as a beginner, and I learned that all from a video which I paraphrased basically, and I gave him credit in the video, from a channel called Kyo. He's a VTuber and he's been playing Multi-Blood type Lumina and Undernight a lot, and he's a very strong Hilda player. And I actually met him, believe it or not. I met a VTuber in real life. It was nuts. So I really enjoyed, especially 2020, 2021, watching Japanese content creators, streamers, and then also, you know, the Western creators as well, getting into this game. It's just so heartbreaking to see them release this port. Like, they can't possibly have tested it. They can't. I'm willing to believe. I'm willing to be wrong though. I'm willing to believe if you tell me that just on the day of release something changed. You know, too many people were logging into the server. We weren't prepared for this or whatever. In which case, you know, maybe doing an open beta could have helped. But even then, might not have fixed it completely. But the way that it is running now, even with the fixes after day one, and remember, they worked hard on day one fixes. Day 2, rather. Should not have shipped like this. They're hurting the goodwill and efforts made by the community that are trying really hard to show people that this is a game worth your time, and at the moment, it's not. Not on Steam, at least. Thanks for streaming, Undernut in Dab. Oh my god. Can't believe I just said that out loud. Don't clip that. Generally speaking, some console platforms limit or charge for pushing updates to the games. For smaller teams, it's better to do most initial fixing on PC and port later. That's interesting. I was not aware of that, but that makes sense. Console game publishers can request emergency patches when things are really bad, but they are limited in how many will be granted. Right. Interesting. Yeah, it's just these console limitations. It really makes you wonder, why didn't they just make this... I don't know if this comes down to the publisher or not, but French Bread grew up making PC games. They weren't a console game developer. They made games that you sell on CDs at Comiket. A Dojin game market. Also, a Dojin product market. Homemade stuff. And they made like dozens of games, right? They've got like 20 games, right? I don't know. They've got a lot of stuff and they're all PC games. So why Why are they focusing on making a console game first and porting it to PC? Remember, like the community that's keeping this game alive is the North American community. I mean, I understand that there's also growing communities in Europe as well, but like that is where the bulk of the momentum is coming from, and we all know that they want to play on PC. Does it write any errors to a log locally? If it does, I will try sending it to them. I want them to be able to fix it. What worries me is that the port was done by a different company, which means that any reports that we do submit, they're probably just being forwarded to the company in charge of the port. Because there's probably nothing that can be done about the console version that will fix the port, you know what I mean? I feel like the issues are the port. Tekken fix has been really fast. Now it's good. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. It was starting to break my heart that people couldn't play Tekken either. I could see it on watching my timeline. Like people were just ready for the weekend. Frosty Faustings is coming up over the weekend, and they're just like, you know, I'm ready. It's Thursday. I've taken the day off. I'm gonna play Undernight and then Tekken, and then both games crashed. But I'm very happy to hear if you're telling me that the fixes have been good for Tekken. Care to share what games you're looking forward to this year that's not fighting? I'll tell you what, I don't really know a lot about Relink, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. A lot of people seem to be quite excited about that. Have not really been paying attention to it. I think I'm more interested in VR and... Oh, sorry, not for streaming. Like, for streaming, I'm going to be playing fighting games and maybe Atelier. I really want to play more Atelier RPGs on stream. I just really love playing the Atelier series. But that aside, I think in terms of announcements this year, I don't really know of any especially important releases that are interesting to me compared to VR releases of hardware. VR and what was the other one? Maybe the new iPad. I think iPad Pro. I think there's going to be an OLED iPad Pro coming out. I think 2023 was a great year for software. I think 2024 will be a year for hardware. You can expect VR. We've got Apple's Vision Pro. MetaQuest just made MetaQuest 3. Most likely they'll probably have a new version of the Pro or something to compete with Apple. Google and Samsung also making VR headsets. In addition to that, we're going to be getting hopefully an OLED iPad Pro. And then in addition to that, everyone is jumping on AI with AI like pins that you can just talk to, and they can just give you advice and make notes for you and make plans for you. I think that sounds really cool if it's done well. So I think, in my opinion, this is actually the year for hardware, which is good because I'm predominantly at the moment a hardware channel. But most of these clips you'll find happening right now are from this channel but going on Activate FG, which if you're not already subscribed, please do, because it's growing fairly quickly. It's my sub channel which I'm using mostly for less produced content and more like clipped content, which I do think is also like a big part of the future of the platform. Before, making videos that were heavily polished was a big deal, but as you have seen, a lot of people are doing this with their mics. Have you noticed? A lot of young creators hold their microphones, and a lot of them are not even using them. The microphone is fake. But it's interesting that cuts happen very frequently. There's always a zoom happening at the same time. Like, there's never more than 2 seconds until something interesting happens on screen. And I think it's an interesting strategy, but it means that channels were built up on, like mine, on, you know, chatting for 18 minutes while drinking a cup of coffee. That kind of content isn't really pushed as hard on YouTube anymore. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop making it, but it has led to a change in the way that I'm running my channels. So I've got like my main channel where I'm basically going to be showcasing this. I think my main channel, when it boils down to it, I think it's just show and tell. I like to show cool stuff that's been created or that I created myself. And then Activate FG is like the opposite. It's clipped content, it's moments, and it's off-the-cuff discussions and short bursts of games, right? I think it's difficult. It was difficult for me to transition completely to like video game content on my main channel, even though it's NihongoGamer. Like, ultimately, it boils down to showing cool stuff that I found, and that's like at my core, that's what I like to do, is just show people cool stuff that I found. Whereas Activate FG is more about delving into fighting games, Undernight, content creation, just chatting about a few things here and there. So that's why it's split into two channels. And actually there's also the drawing channel, which is called Focused Lines. I actually remember what my drawing channel is called now. And the other one is Thinking Blank, which is for that long form content, which even on the main channel doesn't really fit as well as hardware does. So that's why it's split into 4 channels. The AI pin makes no sense to me. What? No, it's great. A smartwatch or smartphone already has every benefit that would offer that already. Not necessarily. The problem with the smartwatch is I don't want to say the form factor, but it's partly the form factor. The problem with a smartwatch is that it necessitates that it's wrapped around an appendage like your hand. And your hand, as you can see, I'm not even wearing my smartwatch at the moment. Actually, the reason I don't wear my smartwatch while streaming is because this is really sharp, and it's very easy to bump my smartwatch into this Shure SM7B, which is a bloody nice microphone. I love the sound of it. That's besides the point. A smartwatch, the issue is that it can't see your surroundings. A smart pin, the reason that the form factor is actually kind of exciting is that it can see what you can see. If you're looking forward, it's looking forward. In fact, it can pretty much sweep, 190-degree area around you, if designed properly. And it actually kind of makes sense that it's not on your head, because often you need the pin to just see what's in front of you while your head is free to move around and see other things. Like as a camera as well, it also makes more sense to just have a camera here, not where your head is moving around. Because I've seen people record video from those Meta glasses. They've got sunglasses made by Ray-Ban. They've got cameras in them, and the issue is that it's actually kind of weird to have your head control what's being recorded, because sometimes you want to look this way, but you want to continue face forward what you're filming, which is why GoPros work fine. You don't always want the GoPro on your head. You often want it just here on your chest because it's a better viewing experience. So I'm kind of excited, to be honest, about AI pins. I think if they're handled well, they could be good. And I've heard that some of the pins, if they've got a screen as well, that could be better. But I also hear that the main company that made what do they call it? The rabbit pin? I can't remember what it was called. But I have heard that their company, they're firing a lot of staff and they're maybe liquidating, I don't know. Hey, can someone help me out? I have a Quanba Dragon! I always wanted that. That's one of my biggest regrets on this. Regrets? It's one of my biggest regrets on this channel, is not buying the Quanba Dragon. I got it for PS4, but it's not working for Tekken 8 on PS5. That's interesting. Have you set it to PS4 mode? The Quanba Dragon probably has a PC, PS3, and PS4 mode. But Kryu 808, if you are still having issues, just set yourself on PC mode and then plug into... I'll find mine. This bad boy. Bad boys, bad boys. What you want is one of these. It's like a magic device that turns lots of controllers that probably don't work into controllers that work. No guarantees, but they do have a list of compatible controllers on the Brook website. It's called the Brook Wingman FGC. They're not sponsoring me to say this, but you should know that they did send this to me for free, so it's not like I had to purchase my own one. They go for about $50, I think, and generally speaking, when I have a controller that doesn't work, I plug it into this baby and it works. For PS5. Yeah, I mean, I've said this before, but this company, single-handedly holds the whole FGC up. The community would crumble without Brook. Just my personal opinion. what I mean is that Apple makes really good screens. Do we need an OLED iPad when screens are already great? We don't need them more expensive than they already are. Agree and disagree. I agree and disagree. For example, when PS4 came out, I actually said to my friend, what are they doing? There is literally no reason to make a PS4 because the PS3 is still insanely good. I had no idea. Like, just my sense of scale was so small that I didn't really see a need for a PS4. But now that we have PS4, we can see it's insane. You know, the difference. It's not insane, but it's incredible what PS4 can do compared to a PS3. And it's less of a gap, but it's still incredible what a PS5 can do. You know, things like ray tracing. So when it comes to screens, OLED, not only is it just nice because it's got darker blacks, but it's also just kind of like the future. Just when the way that LEDs work. I'm not saying that they'll all work this way, but a normal LCD works by, you know, lighting, having pixels change color and then backlighting the whole thing. But OLED, I think the way that they're using it now from VR and for iPad, I think the idea is that they have individual control of each pixel, and then they have an individual backlight for each pixel. So each pixel can be illuminated individually, which is great for power consumption, which obviously leads to gains in performance. So even though it sounds like an upgrade to a screen, it's also upgrading performance of the device overall. There's a lot of stuff that goes into these decisions. I'm not saying that it's justified to have a more expensive iPad, but people want it. People want it. A lot of people who use iPad Pro are professionals who do art or do design, or they just need an iPad because they're on site and they're working with clients. And if you've ever worked in retail or if you worked with any client at all, you'll know that holding a laptop just kind of sucks. It sucks. Balancing a laptop with one hand and then trying to tap like this, it's just the worst. So I'm excited. I'm very excited about the iPad Pro, and I'm not going to apologize for that, for sure. I think it's going to be great. By the way, you're missing the links to your other channels on the main channels about the section. Okay, thank you very much. I am aware of that. And I keep forgetting. I will put the links to the new channels in the description for the next stream. So, Iran, appreciate it. It could be that Tekken doesn't have a legacy controller support. Are we talking about on PS5? Really? What did Sony say? Did Sony say that all PS4 controllers will work on all PS5 games? Or did they say that PS4 controllers will work but only for PS4 games on PS5? In which case, your option is that you could just download the PS4 version of the game and try that. Creo. I say fighting, I meant PS5 games in general. Like, more and more PS5 fighting games are not adding legacy support. It's interesting. I don't know the specifics, but that is something I should probably look up, especially being a channel that focuses so much on controllers. I ended up modding my Omni to work with PS1. What's an Omni? Is that an arcade stick? It's a separate board that I had to solder. Okay. I bought the Victrix Pro BFG last year. Yes! I love the BFG. By the way, the BFG is the main controller I use when I play on pad. I always hold this up because it's on my desk, but it's because the reason is that my BFG is downstairs in my living room where I usually play Grand Blue on my moderately laggy TV plugged into my Asus ROG Ally. By the way, I haven't really played my Steam Deck for months. I mean, I tried it the other day when I was testing something, but ultimately I play almost everything on the ROG Ally. It's just nice knowing that it runs Windows, and so I don't need to worry about what's compatible and what isn't. I love Brick and I own all their I didn't know you own all of them. Anyway, partially because of your review, and it's because I'll just read it from the start. I bought the Victrix Pro BFG last year, partially because of your review, and it's been the best controller I've ever had. Love to hear it. Apparently they are releasing Hall Effect modules this year. Where did you hear that? Is this because I don't check my email? This is because I don't check my email. Fixtrix has probably emailed me. They're like, did you know? Would you like to check out the whole effect modules for the controller? I'm like, I don't read my email, so I don't know. That's awesome. That's very good news. I have never used the analog stick on my BFG, but I'm happy for you. I'm happy for anyone who actually uses the analog stick something. And it's cool that you can change the gate, so you can have like an octagonal gate feel on it, and swap that in and out. It's not that expensive compared to a lot of other controllers out there. I think the Edge, does anyone know how much the DualSense Edge is? I think it's like $300, right? The BFG, I think it's cheaper, but I might be wrong. The BFG goes for $199. The thing is, it's never in stock in Japan. I actually wanted to buy myself a spare. Like, they sent me one, obviously free of charge for the review, but I just want to have one in every room of my house. So I was like, I'm just going to buy another BFG. I went on Amazon and couldn't find it. I really love the controller. PS4 controller will work if the devs code it in. I can't see any reason why they wouldn't. Seems crazy that they didn't, if they didn't. All official PS4 controllers will be recognized by PS5, but the games themselves still need to support the controllers. Ah, oh, man. Well, you gotta love Sony for being transparent about that. Not. My Fighting Edge. Ah, the Hori Fighting Edge. The Fighting Edge in PS4 mode works on everything on the PS5. Love them so much. I bought 2. You know what sounds online? Whenever people ask me what my favorite arcade stick is, I always tell them that the one I use the most is the Fighting Edge. I don't know. It's the other sticks. I don't know how to explain it. It's like something about the gate or something about the case of the Hori Fighting Edge, but it just, I don't know, the body of the stick just echoes just the right way. Like when I hit each input, like I feel the edge of the gate in a really solid way. It's almost like a click, but it's not a click. You know what I mean? It's not a click. It's just a very solid piece of feedback. I feel like that's one of the important things when buying an arcade stick is if you buy something that's got a Sanwa JLF, you might think, okay, it's gonna play great. But if the case of the stick doesn't reverberate, like vibrate the way you expect it to when you move that stick around, it's gonna feel gummy. It has a massive effect on how it feels. I only have the luxury of saying this because I've got so many arcade sticks, but I like it. Mehmet, welcome back. Have you been practicing? Been practicing on PS5? Do you have this game on Steam? We're not. We're not gonna try. The DualSense Edge is $200 in the USA. Okay, not bad. I don't use them either in fighting games. I'm a D-pad player. Analog in fighting games, you have to be a psycho. I agree. I agree 100%. But I've had stick drift in SP games. What's an SP game? Someone told me this before and I forgot. Where I use analogs solved by cleaning. So I hope rumors are true. I'm sorry, if a single sentence has more than one parenthetical in it, I instantly cannot read it. I'm trying really hard. My mental ability has been strained. I only have the Gen 1 8-bit arcade stick. It's a bit small. Yeah, for me the issue wasn't really the size of the 8-bit arcade stick. It was the fact that the lever is too far to the left. It feels a little strange to me. But I know that there are some people who don't really mind about that. Oh, you have the first game on Steam. Yeah, we're not going back to delay netcode. Even though the port is terrible. I'm not going back to delay. Is there ever a reason to upgrade an arcade stick beside it breaking? I've had my Pantera Evo for 3 years, but all this controller talk is giving me FOMO. You only need to upgrade your arcade stick if there is a competitive layout that you could take advantage of. So, for example, a lot of people are adding extra buttons to their controllers. And the other one is if your compatibility has run out. So if you need to be able to play at a tournament on a PS5, make sure that your controller is compatible. If it's not, you could just get one of these adapters. And as far as I'm aware, it hasn't broken yet. And it's very unlikely. I said this before, but Sony is unlikely to break these adapters because they co-own Evo. It's like 50% Sony, 50% Pokemon. So it's very important to Sony that people don't get pissed off about controller compatibility. So I think it's very unlikely that they would break that, the ability to use Brook converters. I was an analog main before I got my fight stick and button box. Good times. Analog mains are nuts! You're crazy! You've got to be absolutely insane. It's possible, but it makes no sense to me. I have still same issue with this Mad Cat CE2. Oh no! Can't boot up on the Switch and I've tried everything. I do have a Magic NS somewhere, so if you message me on the Discord, and you might already have done and I may have forgotten, but if you message me on the Discord again, I will try and remember to test it. Because I think I do have a Magic a Magic NS somewhere. I will order Brooks, but there are plenty of them on their official site. A bit complicated, I'm not sure they're sending to the UK. Brook! You don't need to order from the official site. Brook has stuff on Amazon. I meant single player games. I also use the BFG in games like Ryu Ga Gotoku, Nier Replicant. Okay, right, yeah. Yeah, I use the BFG for everything. I use it for my RPGs, I use it for my... I've been really into... Have you guys heard of this genre? They're called roguelike? No. Rogue... They're like trading card roguelikes. So, I'm playing Slay the Spire and another game. There's like a girl with a sword and it's like a honey... Like the screen is like a honeycomb. I just did it. That's... If I were wearing my Apple Watch, I would have scraped it on the here. It's got like a honeycomb... Can't remember what it's called. It's called like Alice, the Sword Warrior or something. Oh, you're the guy from that video. Are you talking about the H Bomberman video? Or is it a different video? Brook adapters break frequently, really? I haven't had one that's broken yet, but let me know. Oh, if you patch them, they work again. Oh, I see what you mean. Compatibility can break, right? Yeah, you gotta make sure they're updated. Yama, I need to know which video you're talking about before I leave. I do need to head off. Inscription. It's not inscription. I think it starts with an A. I think it starts with an A. Anyway, it's like Slay the Spire, but you're on a honeycomb. It's like the Vita. It's like the Vita dashboard. Does anyone remember the PS Vita dashboard? It's hexagonal. Do you know of any shops that sell screws for arcade sticks? In Japan, I know Sengoku Densho, but in the West, I only know Arcade Shock and Focus Attack. Paradise Arcade as well, I suppose. Slay the Spire is bloody amazing. Really enjoying it. If you want a terrific roguelike, try Enter the Gungeon. Okay, yeah, I've heard of it. I think I might even own it, but I may have just never played it. Alina of the Arena, thank you, 18. That's exactly what it is. It's cool. I'm not 100% hooked yet because I've only just started, but I'm really enjoying it. It's cool. Of course, I'm talking about the PlayStation TV video, Gemma. Oh, you're funny. Yeah. I wonder how many views are on that video now. I wonder if anyone still watches it. Man, my first 1 million views video was that, I think. Man. Well, I don't even remember what I tested. Do you remember in that video I actually show how to plug in the USB cable? I was like, so you plug in the USB cable like this, and I think the comments were like, yeah, because none of us have ever plugged in a USB cable before. Ah, those are good times. Listen, I absolutely adore hanging out with you guys. It's good fun, but unfortunately, the time has come for me to leave. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Make sure you're subscribed here. Subscribe also on Activate FG, which is more likely where the highlight clips of this stream will end up. If you want to check out fighting games, drawing on my Focused Lines channel, and talking on my Thinking Blank channel, I'll have more content up on all of those channels in the coming months for sure. I just want to say thanks to everyone as well for joining me in lobbies in Undernight, inbirth 2, Celeste for Steam PC. The port that was. The port that tried. The little port that tried. That's what we're going to call it. Absolute disaster of a PC release, but that has not swayed me. Even with a release like this, I can still survive and desire to continue playing this game and making content for Undernight inbirth 2. So join me on the next few years of this journey, suffering in birth under the night in the sheets. I'll see you all in the next NihongoGamer video or stream. Laters.